back to this course, and today is the third lesson of Unit 1, and we're going to talk about two other articles. One is a memoir, and the other is a very short story called The Opening Window. I see a lot of people says that you really like the second article, the open window. So today we're going to try to tackle both of them. So first, so for the first thing we're going to look at a right word at the right time is another type of article. It's the memoir. Okay, so first we need to know what is a kind of memoir. So that is a writer's personal account of real events that happened in his or her life. So can you tell me whether it's fiction or non-fiction? It's definitely non-fiction, right? Okay, it's non-fiction, but they still have plots like a short story. So it's like a literature. It contains stories, but they are real stories of the person's life. All right, and a lot of writers are good memoir writers. They will make the real events looks like a story or a novel, but please remember they are a real thing happened. Okay, so again, we're gonna first look at the text and we're gonna find out how does the author feel about what he had to wear. And this is a part that gives you the background of his life, right? So if you compare that to a story, this could be part of the setting, part of the background about the main character, which is himself. So if you have read this paragraph, any ideas? How does the author feel about what he had to wear? You want to know if you know the answer, and you can raise up your hands. Okay, let's hear from Nicholas.
Okay, so I think that the writer thinks that he needs to wear good because he only wear those fake sneakers, but he definitely wants something that was real and something that was more beautiful and that would suit him.
So can you understand this kind of feeling?
Yeah, because you cannot. So you want to get the thing that you want, but actually in reality, you cannot do that.
Right. Have you experienced similar feelings in your life, or have you once have a friend or know someone who would be like this?
Yeah, it was common when you're little because you want to buy a toy and it was just impossible for you because the toy was too expensive.
Right. Yes. So as teenagers, you all understand this kind of feeling, right? Right. And also, thank you, Nicholas. Right. And also, we need to look at the tone of this paragraph. What kind of tone is this? When he writes his paragraph, okay, he writes it in a conversational tone, right? It feels like he is talking to you, like you are a friend of him, a friendly tone. And why he uses this kind of tone? What's the purpose of doing this? Any idea? What does this kind of tone make you feel when you read Do you feel that you make connection with him? Do you feel like it's easy to get into the story, or you feel like close to the writer? What does it make you feel? Let's hear from Amelia.
This sort of friendly tone made me feel that that the writer is very friendly, and I would want to read his article more because I want to know more about him.
Right. And also, does this kind of writing familiar to you? Is the tone? Do you have a like him?
No, I do not read that sort of tone very much, but this is quite new to me. And this is one of the reasons that I want to read it more.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Amelia. Yes, this kind of tone, when you write a memoir, or when you, for example, give a speech in your school, or when you have an interview. So people ask you about your own stories, about your past, your childhood, your life, whatever. So in this kind of situation, you usually give your story in this friendly and conversational tone, so that people feel close to you. You will see this quite often in memoirs from celebrities and famous people. And also, a lot of people would tell this little story about themselves, the anecdotes, on speeches, okay, on very serious occasion. So they always start from little story about themselves, from a very friendly, from very interesting story. And then they move to the main topic they really want to talk about. All right. Yes. So if you want to write a memoir about yourself, and you can start by this. All right. And the second thing you probably need to learn is how to clarify ideas, is how to deduce meaning for an unfamiliar vocabulary in a one sentence. For example, okay. So if you look at here, so when you are a poor kid at a poor school, you worry a lot about how you look all the time, right? And how much money you spending on clothes and all that. So you kind of understand what the writer wants to say. Alright, so if you don't understand sentence you're reading, and trying looking at the structure or the way it is built, usually you're just trying to find out the main subject and the main verb and the object. And the rest part would be used to provide more information of them, or, to decorate the sentence. So you pick up the main part from the sentence, and then you understand everything. This is especially useful when you read articles with very long sentences, or with very complex grammar. Usually official documents, historical articles, and also probably some of poems and other literature pieces. Okay, so what do you feel about him? Now we know, right? He is the writer, John Leguizamo. How do you feel about him? What can you know of him from this picture? Any ideas? Now you know that he is he's a comedian. He tells jokes for people, right? So cool, stylish, pretentious. You're saying he's pretentious. Okay, remember, every judgment you made, okay, every conclusion you draw, you need to support yourself with evidence For example, if Jiaqi, you think that he's pretending to be cool, and then any evidence? Why do you think so? It's not just your feelings, but it's some facts you get. No idea? Like, okay, some people say that he's like a rock player. Yeah, probably Thomas. What do you think? What can you know about him from the photo?
From the photo, I could see that. I think he's cool. Yeah, because especially the way he puts his cap. A lot of people in China now, like if you want to be cool when you take a picture, they turn around their hat, and especially like Judy said, his facial expression, like he was like I'm a really good guy and I'm cool, like that sort of expression. So we could be thinking that he should be confident and
right. Yeah, I think you're right. So probably we can't see really very clearly about his clothes and everything, but the cap, right, and also his facial expression and his body gesture, I mean the position and the angle that he turned and his face, okay, and also the tone of the picture, and shows that he's pretty cool. All right, okay. So, and plus, why this sentence was put here? Not any other sentence, but this one particularly from the whole piece of writing was put here. Why? I was a nerd in junior high, a really bad nerd. I was seriously out of touch, especially the way I dressed. Why? Why they have this sentence here? Anyone? I mean, think about one day that you are going to publish one of your books or one of your writings or one of your novels, for example. Which sentence or which one caption you will put on your coverage? So Eva said to let the readers get interested into reading it. How? I mean, why? Why this sentence particular could get the readers interested, but not any other sentences? All right, Judy.
Well, I think that it's like a comparison, because in the picture we can know that he's very cool, but in this sentence we can know he is a nerd, and a bad nerd, and dressed badly as he described. So it hooked us and let us think, why is it badly dressed? We think it's cool, and that makes the readers interesting and want to know why and how he changes himself, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you, Judy. Right. I think this sentence was put here basically because it creates a contradiction. So the picture and the sentence contracts with each other. So they're kind of opposite. Right? So you're trying to know how, a nerd in junior high actually turns out to the person here. So that would get the reader really interested. Okay, two very different image of the person. Okay, so some other things that we can get from the picture. He's not dressed up in fancy clothes. Okay, he looks comfortable and also very confident with himself. And also he's Latino, right? If you consider his facial structure and everything. And we also know that he probably has been successful somewhere in his own field. All right. Okay. So first part. Can you try to underline the phrases that describe his appearance, his dress and everything, and then also underline his goals and also his relationship with other students? I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. Okay, you've got 1 minute left. Okay, have you finished? Right, can someone share his or her answers with us? Words about his appearance, about his goals, and relationship with other kids. Still doing it. Okay, take your time. I'll give you 1 minute more. Finished? Have you finished? All right, let's hear from Eva. Hi, Eva. Hi. Hello. Well, we can't hear you, Eva. Right. Sorry for that. Okay, let's try to check our answers together. So, words about his appearance. What have you found? First, he said he wears high waters, right? And what does high waters mean? Well, you will find the expression just below. Says pants that were too short. Right. Shorts. Yes. Okay. So high waters could be underlined. And also, my shoes, fake sneakers. Right? Okay. So these are about his appearance. And what are his goals? Oh, another thing. He wears underwear without a leg hole. Okay. And what does it mean by Quasimodo of Jackson Heights? Does anyone know? What does it mean? Why does he say this? Quasimodo. Who is Quasimodo? Right, somebody says that is the name of the hunchback, is one figure in Victor Hugo's novel. Okay? 巴黎圣母院这个里面一个角色的名字。Well, the main feature of the character is he is ugly. Okay. So that he's too afraid to show his love to the women. Alright. So he says, I'm very ugly. He thinks he's very ugly and unpopular by saying he is the Quasimodo of his school. Right. Next. About his goals. What are his goals? Well, his goals is to look good first, and also to be cool. Why he want to be cool? Why he want to become cool? He wants to get girls. Right? It's the way to get girls. So that's why he wants to be cool. Can you share his feelings? Or maybe the boys? Do you share his feelings as a boy? Yes or no? No. Emily says no. And Jessie says no. Okay. Girls, let me ask you this. What kind of boy in school will get your attention? Is not that you're going to develop a relationship or something, but it's just what kind of boy will you notice? Get the attention? No one? Really? You do not really care boys at all? Share the same interest. Okay, Jessie says smart. Rebecca says smart. Okay, share the same interests. Amelia said we don't really bother noticing boys. Humorous. Alright, so what about the boys? What kind of boy do you think will be noticed by girls? Or do you want to get the girls? Or let me ask in this way, what kind of boys are the most popular ones in your school? Why do you think they're popular? Okay, so I want you to tell me, the things that in your school. Let's ask Pen.
I think that the most popular boys in my school are all humorous ones because they are going to tell jokes. And that's really fun. Right.
So do girls also like this kind of boys as well?
In our class, girls are in one pack and boys are in another pack. and these two packs
Right.
never influence each other. Girls won't influence boys, and boys won't influence girls. The girl
Right.
in the middle rest, girls always get a group and they are discussing something that I wouldn't know, and our boys would get to several
Right.
groups, and several
Right,
groups will talk about different things.
So, but the kind of boy you said is quite popular among boys. Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is that true for you as well? Nicholas, is that true in your school, in your class?
Well, I think maybe.
What kind of boys are popular?
I think the boys that study good and the boys that didn't really like to. The boys that always want to stay in classroom and just sitting there and doing homework.
So they get straight A plus for every subject.
Yeah, just like that, and their behavior are all A plus.
And also behavior. So will you care about, the outfits, the clothes, sneakers, the kind of thing? Will you take that into consideration?
I think the least.
The least, right. Okay. Right. So people say, yes. Okay. So that's probably quite different, from the situation in your school, right? But back to the article. For John's school, obviously, well, people, will look at that. And also, he really wants to get girls. So he wants to look good. He wants to be cool. And he wants to get girls. And what about other relationship? Other kids? Teases him. Right? He's obviously not one of the most popular students in his school. Because Quasimodo, the character in the play, for most of times he would hide in a tower. He won't show himself, so that people considered him as the ghost of that place. But actually he's a live human. So in that case, he's saying that, yes, probably he's like him. Okay, so in order to achieve his goals, what did he do? He totally changed. Okay? He hung out with the gangsters. Are these real gangsters? Who would these gangsters mean? I mean, in his situation. Gangsters? Do you have these kind of gangsters in your school? Let's ask someone. Ethan?
It's kind of that there's no kind of gangster that I know in our school, but there's other stories I heard that they may just threat other students for something they want. And there's plenty of stories, and also accidents occur every year.
How can you tell that they would bully others? I mean, if you don't know any of them, can you tell from any encounter you have with them?
Well, they will probably gather in groups, about tens, and also they may wander about. They go to places without plans, and then just wander about to see what they want to do on their way.
Okay, basically you're saying they're brainless. Alright. Okay, thank you. Anyone would like to share, the gangsters in school? What kind of people are these? Thomas? Thomas, any ideas?
Yeah, so I think the real gangsters, they are not the type, like the real gangsters that would kill people or we would terrorize anybody in the block, and yeah, not that sort, but probably they're the mean kids in the school, like the bullies. They call them cool, but no one really likes them. Could say that being bullies and bullying everyone, it's really cool in some way, but you're being cool in the wrong way.
Right. What do they usually look like? Do they have any features that you could tell once you see them? No probably features. Right. I mean, yes, I think the gangsters here just means the bullies, or could be the senior students, okay, who just feel more relaxed and confident in school. They usually stay in a group, right? They will sometimes break rules. They do something against the school rules and like that. So they look cool to someone, but if you're really bullying others, I mean, that's definitely wrong. Right. So he joined the gangsters. Cut class. Cut class means he didn't go to class. So by the time I got to high school, I was getting in trouble all the time. Do you know anyone like him? Do you have any classmates or friends or anyone in your school you know is like him? Some say yes, some say no. Right. I think I do know someone, like in my primary school and senior high. Yes, they're like that. And they didn't go to university, and I really don't know what they're doing, but I feel like they just went into the wrong direction. I mean, at one specific period of time in their life. So again, you see, when we read a story of teenagers, or when we read people's manhwas, the most important reading strategy is we keep making connections, either with yourself, with your life, or your friend's life, the people you know, because they're all real stories. So you kind of ask yourself all the time, is this also the case for me? Because this is about high school, right? This is a reason why we select this manhwa, this piece of writing, into the textbook, because it's about your life going on now. So when you read schools, this kind of story, ask yourself, do I know anyone like him? Okay. Or am I like him? Can I understand him? Do I share his feelings? Can I take his place? And this would improve the empathy. The capability to show empathy is very important, so that you understand other people's feelings and you could help them in a certain way. All right. What are you talking about? Always late for school and do not want to hand in homework. Yes, that kind of student. All right, okay. So what I loved most was cracking jokes in school. He has a very special talent, right? I liked keeping the kids laughing. Do you know anyone in your class that always make people laugh? Always telling jokes and is telling funny things or do funny moves that make everyone laugh. And even the teachers laughed sometimes. Well, for most times, the teachers don't really like this kind of student, do they? Because they get all the attention. Sometimes they just, they don't behave. But if they're really funny, I mean, sometimes teacher will laugh too. Which was the best part. Okay. So you would know someone like that. We have someone say, my classmates are serious. All of your classmates are serious? Really? Yes. I do have that classmates or that person in your mind when you read this part. If you close your eyes, you can see him in your mind, right? Okay. I think he's annoying, right? Yes, he could be annoying. I mean, for most times you will feel annoyed because the boundary and, you know, how far you can go is basically a knot at school. Sometimes being popular, getting attention, and also get annoyed by others are just very close in school, right? All right. So next part, number 2. Do you understand what Mr. Zufa is telling him? What strategy can you use if you're confused? At that time, he's really confused, right? So let's read again what his teacher actually tell him. So lesson. Instead of being so obnoxious all the time, instead of wasting all the energy in class, why don't you rechannel your hostility and humor into something productive? Have you ever thought about being a comedian? What do you think? What does rechannel mean? And hostility and something productive, what does that mean? So here, rechannel means use something in a different way, okay? And hostility means his angry feelings. He's angry, so much angry. And productive means, well, in a helpful or in a useful way. So overall, what is his teacher telling him? He's telling Leguizamo to use his energy for something good, something positive. Yes, right. The teacher wanted him to use his talents or as an advantage, right, to do better things. Because the teacher must see that he's particularly good at such things, making troubles, telling jokes, making other people laugh, right? This is obviously not an ideal behavior in school. But, I mean, could be turned into a way of advantage. Do you like his teacher? Do you think his teacher is a good teacher? Or do you have a teacher like this? A teacher always sees something different in a troubled student or something. Yes. Yeah. Can you give me an example of this? So there's annoying students or troubled students, and then, or maybe that's you, like when you did something wrong and one teacher told you something and then your idea just changed. Let's try Eve again.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, with some background noises, but I think that's fine.
Well, in my school, in my class. Half maybe. We don't have that.
Right, we're having you on and off.
What?
Sometimes we have you, but then next second we lose you. Right. Okay, anyway, can you repeat your story?
Well, in my school, there isn't such a teacher like.
There isn't a teacher like this, right?
Yes, but one of my teachers is not like the. She is.
She is what?
She's quite humorous, and she doesn't really annoy those.
Right. Did she give you any useful advice?
Not much.
Little. Never. But you still like her?
Yes.
Because of her kindness. Yes. All right. All right. Thank you, Eva. Yes. I mean, for most time, teachers are always busy and they need to care about your grades and they have so much things to care. So is often kind of impossible to dig into each student and to find their talents and their advantages and give them some advice. But this do happen like every now and then. If you have a teacher like this, and it's really, really nice. Okay. Right. So next question. What strategy can you use if you're confused? If you can't, if you're confused with one part or one character or the real meaning of one sentence, I mean, the strategy is to read it again. To read it again and again. You read not only the sentence, but the part before it and after it, and you're trying to close your eyes, you're trying to picture it in your mind. Okay? You have the classroom, could be the classroom of your school, you have the teacher, and you have the troubled student. You're having the teacher say something to the student. As in this case, you are the director of the film going on in your mind. And maybe you can get that feeling. Alright, this is a very useful thing to that. Okay, so you connected what Linguizamal had already said with Mr. Zuver's words, obnoxious and wasting all the energy, right? So that he's basically giving him very useful advice, and then he realized he needed to act differently. Right. Number 3, about a memoir. What parts of Linguizamal's life does he share here? He said, well, I'm going to be a loser all my life, and I really didn't want to be a loser. I want to be somebody. What does it mean by somebody? Here, somebody means, when you say, I want to be somebody, that means you want to be, well, it means that he was worried about being a failure and not achieving anything. So he dreamed of being an important and successful person in the future. I think here somebody means important and successful. So not only useful, but also could be a famous person. Okay, so a person with all the attentions, that kind of thing. Alright, okay, so again, you can try to monitor your comprehension by ask yourself questions after reading few paragraphs. You can say, how did the author try to be cool in high school? Well, he tried to be cool by making people laugh. Okay? And So summarize. The author grew up poor and felt like a nerd in school, so he's trying to fit in by making people laugh. And then the teacher suggests that he could use his talent to become a comedian. Right. Next. So, of course, you know the ending of that story. So he finally became really famous. But how he got his first chance? So he got into New York University. That's a good step, right? And then he did student films. So one of the movies actually won awards. So his life changed. So which step do you think is more important for his success? His teacher's words to him? He get into university, he won the awards, or then his agent put him into one of the fine movies. Which step is the most important one? The teacher. Yes, I agree with you. His birth. I agree with you. How do you know that? Can you back up your answer with words from the passage? Can you underline the parts that make you feel that is the most important event for him? And you should look at here. Right? So, this was the turning point in my life. Right? Everything kind of converged. What does converge mean? Converge means everything seemed to integrate together, trying to get together. Okay? And the planets align. Here, the planets means the planet. He's not meaning real planets. He means his life, his confusion, his worrying about his future, his energy, his talent, also his plan for the future. So everything aligned. Yes. So when you want to describe an important moment for your life, you can use both of these descriptions. Is there such a moment in your life so far? Do you have this kind of moment that you feel the planets align and everything converted, and you suddenly find out the meaning of your life, what you're going to? No? I like Ethan's answer. Not yet. Oh, Thomas says yes. Thomas, would you like to share your moments with us? Okay.
So sometimes it is especially when I'm doing my homework, sometimes I don't know what to do, and sometimes Dad told me what to do, and sometimes we're making difficult decisions. Importantly, something I didn't know. Sometimes it happens like that. Suddenly I realized something I hadn't realized before.
Right.
Yeah.
Suddenly that you get the inspiration, get the idea. Right. I think if you saying that this happens quite frequently, probably every week, when you do your homework, that's yes, that's a good moment. That's a moment you suddenly came to something and you suddenly put something together to have a good idea. But that's not as important as the moment he described here. This kind of moment would be once in a lifetime moment. Okay. Probably you're too young to have this turning point. Maybe, well, in the future, in your next 5 years, you would have such a moment. So in some place, someone will tell you something when you're really confused, really worried, you have no direction, or you have this ultimate question about your life, and then suddenly one say and give you the inspiration, give you the kick. Finally, you find the calling of your life. It's possible. It's possible, but we don't know when that will happen, right? Or next life, maybe. Well, you will find this moment sooner or later. Maybe in your 20s, or maybe in your 30s, maybe in your 50s. I mean, that could happen. Some people find their passion for life in their 50s or 60s. Is also possible. Okay. So again, for Manuel, we've come to the last paragraph of that. So he said he have run into Mr. Zufa a bunch of times since high school, okay, and told him how his advice turned my life around. Let me tell you, this is the best moment of being a teacher, really, is that you see your students are all doing really well in their jobs, in their personal lives. They get married, they became managers, or they find the passion of their life. And then one day they will come back to school and they share with you. This is the best moment. And he said, I'm not saying that. Here's a guy who was able to look beneath all the stuff I pulled in class and find some kind of merit in it, something worth pursuing. How cool is that? So, who is this guy? Who is this person? Being able to look beneath all the stuff. Okay, there are just two choices. Either the writer himself or his teacher. It's him or his teacher. This really cool guy. His teacher, yes. Yes, he thinks his teacher is really cool because he can look through, the tricks he did in class and then help him find the passion of his life. What does merit here mean? Find some merit in it. Here merit means something good, yes. Something good. Good things. Good points. Right. Yes. Yeah. Value. I agree. Find some kind of value in it. Right. Okay. So after we read this memoir, can someone tell me why we read memoirs of other people? Why do we read memoirs? What can we get? What can we get from them? For example, what can you get from this memoir about his story? Anyone? I'll give you 30 seconds to think about it. What can we get from them? Okay, let's see. To get instructions to our own life. Yes, I mean that is possible. To see how their life change and live your own life better. Yeah. Yes, that's probably one of the most important reasons people read biography or these memoirs. Especially if you go to check a bookstore near you, maybe this weekend. Okay, and you will find memoirs are a big part, a big section in a bookstore. And I want you to look at those memoirs. Whose memoirs are they? Well, they fall into these few categories. Firstly, political figure. So politics. For example, presidents for each country, leaders of different parties, right? So, why people like to read the memoirs of these political figures? Because their life is so different from ours, right? And also, their life are often connected with, the development of certain country. So people want to know some stories within the development of their country, some very important decisions about their party, about their country are actually made by these people. So that is why they read memoirs for political figures. But another kind of book you will find was memoirs from celebrities, from all kinds of famous people. For example, a sports star and really famous artists and singer, dancer, this kind of people. Directors, actors, probably. So, celebrities. People read their memoir because, well, again, we want to know their stories. We want to know what is behind their image, their public image, because they're all very successful and they're glamoring, right, in front of the stage. But we want to know, just because we want to gossip. This is the real reason. We want to read their memoir. Because they're going to talk about their failures, their personal lives, for example, their divorces, their marriages, their family lives, things that we wouldn't know normally. Right. So that is why we want to read their memoir. And the third kind of memoirs are from the fat cats, from businessmen, businesswomen, entrepreneurs. Why do we read their memoirs? Any ideas? The most successful businessmen and women in the world. Entrepreneurs. You want to learn from their experience. You want to learn their strategy, their ways of doing business, right? So a lot of people, for example, like my husband, he really likes to read memoirs from all the investors back in Wall Street and all those famous financiers and bankers. And he's not really interested in their personal life, about where they live and their family life. He just wants to get some advice on investing, how to invest, and theories and the rationale behind it. He wants to get some useful lessons for his investment. So that is another reason why we read memoirs. To learn how to make money more. Yeah. But I always tell him that you're not gonna learn anything useful, because in my belief, I think being very successful, making a lot of money, or doing a business really successfully, some of these success cannot be replicated, cannot be analyzed and replicated, right? Sometimes success is a combination of luck, the time, and of course your capability, your talent, people around you. Is about everything altogether adds up. They all add up to make that success. So it's very difficult to replicate. But anyway, another interesting question for you. After 20 or 30 years, maybe 40 years, would you want to write your own memoir? Why do people write their own memoirs? Would you like to do it? Yep. Yeah, definitely. Thomas said if I'm famous, yes. I mean, even if you're not famous, you could write a memoir, right? But do you want to write a memoir? And why do you want to write a memoir? For example, let's think about John in his case. Okay, why do you think John wrote this this little piece, the right words at the right time? Why do people write stuff when they don't have to? Vivian said, why do people write stuff when they don't have to? That means you assume that everyone hates writing. But not everyone hates writing. Some people, they love to write. I believe some of you love writing, right? I see many students, they keep their own diaries, they keep their own novels, they write every 1 or 2 chapter every day, and that could be the best time of their day. And a lot of people nowadays, they write, they have their own channels, they have their public accounts on WeChat or either on other platforms. They write stories for people to read. They enjoy doing that. So let's say it's like, well, you can't, right? I think the reason why John writes this memoir is because he believes that his story, his personal life, can help other people in similar situations of him, right? If you are the teenager like him with similar backgrounds from not really rich family, okay, so you're in his age at that time, you want to be cool at school, but you can't find a way to do it, or you have similar talents to him or something, then you probably find a solution, or you could probably find a way to follow from his story. And also, I think another reason that he really wants to share the story with everyone is that this kind of teacher and this kind of a moment is quite rare, right? It's not commonly seen in schools nowadays. So he had this incredible experience, and he want to share with everyone so that you could all learn something from his teacher's advice. So I think this is probably the main reason he write this. So I believe there are a lot of interesting stories or interesting things going on in your life. If you think that's either interesting or is either helpful for other people, you can write your memoir. Or you just want to keep a diary for your children, for example, for your son and daughter and your granddaughter, grandson. You want them to know you, okay? And then you write a memoir for them. Okay, Amelia says that it's very interesting. Amelia says, if one's not successful, let's discuss this. If one's not really successful, one's life has a lot of failure, do you think that is he can write a memoir? Is it worthy to write or to read memoir like this? I think yes. I think yes, because, well, you not only learn from people's success, you also learn from people's failure, right? And I think actually you can learn more from people's failure, because just as what I said, I think success is really a combination of talent, luck, specific time, I mean, all the conditions and everything. So it's not really lots of things that you can learn. But failure, if you study 100 different kinds of failure of doing one business, I'm sure you can learn something. Yeah, so that you won't make the same mistake again. Yes. So one interesting story I heard the other day was that a person goes to a job interview, okay, of a really famous company, and they want a manager of investing. So this person need to invest, in charge of the investment of the huge corporation. So he will be handling huge amounts of money. Okay, he'll decide like which area to invest. So in this job interview, the boss asked him, saying, so why do you think you could do this? And what can you say to make me believe in you that you is going to do a really great job in investment? Because it's about spending money, right? Huge lot of money. So this person says, I have failed more than 100 times in previous investments, and I have lost, I can't remember, but it's for example, like $1 million in the last 20 years. And then after hearing this, the boss says, you are the right person. Why? Although it could be a joke or a story, so leave that out. But why do you think the boss immediately says that, okay, what have you? Let's ask Nicholas.
Well, I think because the boss thinks that this is the person who remember his or her mistakes, and he wants to correct it. So only if you're this kind of man can you really improve further.
Yes, right. Or maybe he's really good at failing at things, right? So he has so many different kind of failing experience, so he knows how to avoid all that in the future. Okay, Nicholas, if you are the boss, will you say yes to him?
Well, just what he says after it. So if he says that he will try his best to correct it, then maybe yes. But if it just say all of mistakes, then and he didn't ever mention about wanting to correct it, then totally no.
Okay, right. So thank you, Nicholas. It's very interesting that Nicholas, you've mentioned that you want to see the willingness of him to correct his mistakes. I often discuss this with my husband when he need to do some investing work in his corporation. So he always told me that the most important quality in an investor need to have is staying calm all the time, trying not to get the money you lost back. So think of you in a gamble, okay? If you are in a gambling, you lost some money and you so eagerly want to get them back, so you're playing bigger and bigger, and then probably you lost everything. So he told me that, well, the best feeling is to feel nothing at all. Okay? So when people are people are afraid of the fluctuation of the stock market or something, you stay all the way calm, and that is how you could win in investment. But anyway, well, right, okay. Next, we're coming to analyze. Okay, so explain, how did the author react to his teacher's advice, and use evidence from the text to explain your answer. I'm going to leave some of these as your homework, okay? Because you really need to know how to use evidence in the text to explain your answer. This is really important. Right. Let's come into critical reading. So we have read both articles of Bibi and also John here. Right. Will you react to advice from adults more as Bibi did, or more as John did? Because they both react to advice from adults, but in different way, right? So how will you do? Pen. What will you do?
Maybe I will react like John did, because as my parents said, they have more experience than me, and maybe I should listen to them. But sometimes I react with Bibi did when I was in something that's very confident that I'm right and they're wrong.
How do you know that you're right and they're wrong?
Because I was really good at that part, like maths or IT or something.
Right. If it's a math problem and they tell you that you're wrong, and you'll stick to your answer.
No. If they have watch the professional answers, then I'll listen to them. But if they haven't do that, I'll stick to my answer.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, the main differences between the way Bibi react to Mama Lil's advice and how John react to the advice from his teacher is that, well, Bibi has a very clear plan of her future, right? She knows exactly what she wants to do in the future. While John hasn't thought about that at the moment, so he's a bit confused. So in that case, well, his teacher's advice would be really useful for him. I mean, if Bibi is confused at the same case as in John, and then Mama Lil gave her an application form of the beauty salon, probably Bibi will say yes. Bibi won't feel angry about that, right? Bibi would be happy to have someone, give her an advice. And then if I were Bibi, probably I would go to the beauty salon to try out, and then maybe after 1 week or something, I would figure out that I don't really like this. This is not my thing. And then I keep trying other jobs until I find my passion for life. So I think it's whether you have a clear and valid plan for your future. So this is the main difference. And number 2. So John's talk with the teacher was a turning point. Might Bibi's talk with Mama Lil be a turning point in her life? Do you think so? Anyone? Do you think the talk Bibi has, on the day of the project starts in the kitchen with Mama Lil is the turning point of her life? Thomas?
Yes, I agree. I think it might be. Yeah, I think it will be.
If you think yes, so what changed in her life before and after that talk?
So I think the biggest change was not her, but Lou. I think she learned not to be stubborn. She learned not to be so stubborn, and she learned that sometimes, like, traditional or sometimes a certain type of perspective is not really what it is. Yeah.
Right. So yes, thank you, Thomas. I think I think rather than saying that talk is the turning point of Bibi's life, I would say that it's more of a turning point for Mama Lil's life, right? Because after that talk, I mean, she finally understood her daughter's dream, and she finally stopped from putting her own dream onto her daughter's. So yes, so it's the turning point of Mama Lil's life rather than Bibi, because nothing changed for Bibi. I mean, before the talk, she's quite stubborn with her dream of being an engineer, and after the talk, she's still very sure about her dream. So nothing have changed for her. Right. Okay. So you see, this is also useful critical thinking skills. Once you've read a few things, you're trying to compare them. Okay, you're trying to contrast, find similarities and differences between them. And this again is if you read novels, it's the same. So you compare different characters in a novel or from different novels. They could be in similar age, or they could be in similar situation. And then you ask yourself, what do they have in common? What's the differences between them? And this is how we do research on literature for a specific period of time. For example, so if you want to do research for the women's figure, okay, for example, like the married women's figure for a specific period of time, say 1930s, in America or in China, what you need to do is you collect all the novels, stories, those popular ones from that period of time. You read all of them, and then you pick out all the female figures, the married women, this kind of figures, and you ask yourself, what do they have in common? Their appearance, I mean, their role in a family, their life, the plots, right? And also their personality, what they said, what they did, anything in common, you know, and then you have your answer, and you have a common, like, thing collected from all the figures. Alright. Okay, so, next. Imagine, both the story and the memoir are set in cities. How would character have been different if events took place in a suburb or in a country? I think that's quite easy to answer. So, Nicholas? If that's in countries, what will happen? Okay, feel like he's not there. Right. So Bibi might not have had the opportunity to work on a bridge project, or she probably won't even have the idea of doing that. And John, in another case, may have faced different obstacles and I don't know, he won't have such a teacher probably. So he would find other jobs. He would probably left the school and find other jobs. Right. Number 4. I think this one is a very interesting question. So, do you think John Leguizamo would have listened to Mama Leo's advice? Why or why not? I'm going to give you 1 minute to think about it. Okay? And also try to include evidence from the text. So 1 minute to prepare. Which page is it? 49. Okay, right. Anyone want to share thoughts? Pen? What do you think?
He might have listened to Mama Leo's advice, but maybe he won't.
Why?
Because he is confused about his future. If he has got that bridge, he would first think of, am I skilled enough to work on that bridge? Will that bridge collapse and I lose my life? Will I leave Mama Leo forever and become an engineer? Maybe some big companies are just hiring me and I won't meet Mama Leo ever since. So he will have so much questions, and if he won't think of them clear, he won't have got on that bridge abruptly.
Right. Okay. Right. Thank you, Pen. Yes, he said that because John was quite confused at that time about his life. So he probably will follow Mama Leo's suggestion. But I mean, he's not kind of good kid.